following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, it does not matter who the host is, that is for sure. I think we have learned that time and time again, that it does truly not matter who the host is. Anyways, today is Thursday, January the 27th, 27th of the year, and only 338 days left remaining to go as we are going and moving and grooving and all that kind of fun stuff. So there you go. So let's start talking right away about where we're at, because we are inside of the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. Well, and we're hanging out at that other station that we do stuff at. Radio. You know, the repetitiveness of me saying that makes me wonder, at some point, I would imagine that the majority of the people that hang out on this place know that we are hanging out at Safety FM, that we are hanging out here, we're hanging out there, we're hanging out all over the place. So do I need to mention it? Well, probably for the people that are not familiar with what we're doing, probably is a good idea to do so. So hopefully a lot of good stuff happened in the overnight for you. I, on the other hand, cannot say that everything was stupendous, as it was raining all day yesterday here in this glorious state, but those are the things that happen from time to time. Anyway, so hopefully everything is good and grand inside of your world. Hump Day was an interesting day for sure, but let's start talking right away of the stuff that was moving around and going around and all that fun stuff yesterday. So let's take it from the top. Yesterday was trending. Stephen Breyer was trending. Wednesday, after the U.S. Supreme Court Justice announced his plans to retire. So there you go. Kobe landed on Twitter's top 10 trends yesterday as fans remembered Kobe Bryant on the second anniversary of his death. Let's see. Disgusting Disney movies was trending on social media as users spoofed names of Disney movies. Tweets included Tiger King, Frying Nemo, James and the Giant Leech, Screwtopia, The Lion King, not the lion, but the Lion King, The Sword in the Roger Stone. So there you go, I guess. Or should have been the Sword in Roger Stones, because that would have been a probably more interesting title overall. So what else did we see? Fox News host Tommy Loris was trending yesterday, criticizing President Biden's campaign to nominate someone to the Supreme Court based solely on race. So Tommy Loris from Fox, really, we'll say Fox News, but she's more affiliated as of late to Fox Nation, if anything. She always has some interesting takes on life. I'll put it that way. It's an interesting twist on what she comes up with from time to time. And you should probably look at some of her newer stuff and her older stuff if you ever take a look at what she has going on, because it's always intriguing what she has to share. That is for sure. Anyway, so did you do anything cool last night? I will tell you that I had the privilege of sitting on my couch and actually seeing Aaron Lewis's new album release party last night via live stream. You know, I will tell. How many concerts have I gone to like this now? I think I'm averaging once a year, is what it feels like, and it wasn't bad. I mean, it's. You know, technology is limited when it comes to that. It blurred out several times, but I think that's just because, you know, you bottleneck when it comes to some of those things. But it was really good because he's just a guy with a guitar. Just a guy with a guitar, nothing fancy, nothing else. And it's just him, you know, releasing his pipes there and what he can bring verbally and authentically and vocalize with what was going on. Very small group. It seemed like it was it was one of those ticketed things that it was very limited on what people could actually come into. But man, it was some good times last night. About a good hour and 20 minutes. Really did enjoy watching that. And I was not aware of this until recently, and this is really sad. Did you know that if you're streaming right now on YouTube, if you're watching a live stream, you have the option to pause a live event, and then you can rewind it, and then, of course, forward it to where the live event is currently at if you wanted to do that. I was not aware of any of that. I'm so behind when it comes to this tech on some of this stuff. It's amazing to me. So anyways, don't know why I went off on that tangent, but I guess it was something that was on my mind, and that's really how a lot of this stuff happens around here. I start talking about it because I start thinking about it. So that's what's going on. Anyways, if you're new to the show, it kind of goes in this particular format like this. We talk about the news. We talk about safety. We talk about safety in the news. We bring in some professional broadcasters. They talk about what's going on. You have the opportunity to chime in. You have a few different ways of doing so. You can go into our website, callinradio.com. Callinradio.com. And what that will do is that will get you directly to our messaging board. It will get you into our text box, our chat box. It will get you into our video streaming calling system and also our voiceover system if you wanted to do that as well. So you have some options there. And if I'm if I get my head up straight, then I can actually pick up the calls at some particular point. So there you go. Some things there. So anyways, as that is talking in regards to what was going on inside of the world of the trends, maybe it is time to do this right now. And we will go ahead and bring in our friends at Feature Story News, for they can give you the real news reports on what's going on out there.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Feature Story News in London, I'm Benji Haya. The United States has rejected Russia's demands to bar Ukraine from NATO. The military alliance sent Moscow written proposals in a bid to defuse the crisis along its borders with Ukraine, where 100,000 Russian troops have amassed, sparking fears of an invasion. Our Europe correspondent Rosie Burchard reports.
NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg says he has invited Moscow to sit around the table with all 30 NATO allies in a series of meetings and to consider re-establishing diplomatic ties. Despite Russia's demands that Ukraine be barred from future NATO membership, Secretary-General Stoltenberg made it clear the alliance would not change its open-door policy. Stoltenberg said though NATO is pursuing dialogue, it's also preparing for the worst. Allies have been increasing the readiness of forces in case diplomatic talks run dry. Rosie Burchard, Brussels.
Meanwhile, the Kremlin says it needs time to consider written responses from the US and NATO to its demands. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov claims the texts focus on secondary issues and not Moscow's main concerns. Julia Chapman has more.
The Kremlin says there is still room for dialogue with the United States after the responses were handed over to Russian officials. But a spokesperson for President Vladimir Putin said it looked as though Russia's main security demands had not been taken into account. Moscow has called for NATO to exclude Ukraine from future membership and agree not to station offensive weapons in Eastern Europe. Those proposals have been described as non-starters by Western officials, but they say some trust-building measures could be agreed on. Russia continues to amass troops on the Ukrainian border, but insists that it has no plans to invade its neighbour. Julia Chapman, Moscow.
India is hosting the first meeting of the India Central Asia Summit, held virtually. The presidents of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan are joining Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Central Asia republics and India are hoping to bolster ties amid diversification away from China and following the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan. Our correspondent Rebecca Bunden has the details from Mumbai.
The summit is expected to help pave the way for stronger economic and strategic ties between India and Central Asia. Afghanistan will be high up on the agenda, with common security concerns after the Taliban took control of the country last August. Trade and connectivity are other areas that are set to be in focus as Central Asia looks to become less dependent on China. The original aim was for the Central Asian leaders to travel to New Delhi as chief guests at India's Republic Day celebrations held on Wednesday, and for the summit to take place during their visit. Due to the COVID situation, however, the celebrations were scaled down, without the attendance of any foreign dignitaries. Rebecca Bunden, Mumbai.
And Australian scientists have discovered an unknown spinning object in the Milky Way unlike anything seen before. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking in more depth now at the news that Justice Stephen Breyer plans to step down from the Supreme Court later this year, giving US President Joe Biden a valuable opportunity to nominate his replacement. But timing will be of the essence.
In the Senate, we want to be deliberate. We want to move quickly. We want to get this done as soon as possible.
That's Senator Charles Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader, indicating that the Democrats know any nominee must secure 51 of the 100 votes available in the Senate to become a Supreme Court justice. The Senate is currently split 50-50. The tradition of nominees securing bipartisan support appears largely to have shattered, and the Republicans hope to regain control of Congress in this November's midterm elections. Senator Schumer says President Biden is poised to make an historic pick.
President Biden stated that he would choose a black woman, and I expect he'll follow through on that.
And the Republican leader in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, said his party will wait for the nominee to be revealed before jumping to any conclusions.
We'll take a look at who the new nominee is and decide later whether or not to support.
But Republicans will salivate at the possibility of blocking the president's nominee from reaching the bench, and Democrats must get the process complete before November if they want to take advantage of the knife-edge majority they currently enjoy in the Senate. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
A reminder for you of our top stories. The United States has rejected Russia's demands to bar Ukraine from NATO. The military alliance sent Moscow written proposals in a bid to defuse the crisis along its borders with Ukraine, where 100,000 Russian troops have amassed, sparking fears of an invasion. India is hosting the first meeting of the India-Central Asia Summit, and Australian scientists have discovered an unknown spinning object in the Milky Way unlike anything seen before. That's the latest feature story news. I'm Benji Hire in London.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What? Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this. To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You know how sometimes in life you have those moments of shoulda, coulda, woulda, you know what I'm talking about. It happens all the time to people. So let's talk about that very sensitive subject of male pattern baldness. Don't go through that moment where you're going, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Let's talk about my friends at Keeps. 2 out of 3 men experience some form of hair loss by the time they are 35. With more than 50 million men in the U.S. suffer from male pattern baldness. You don't have to be one of them. Think about this. There are only 2 FDA-approved medications that can prevent hair loss, and my friends at Keeps offer both. Keeps offers simple, stress-free way for you to keep your hair. Convenient virtual doctor's consultations and medication delivered straight to your door. I mean, I have to tell you, just for the whole sake of not having to leave your house to have the consultation, that should sell itself. But the low-cost treatments start just as low as $10 per month, and Keeps offers generic versions. Discreet packaging and proven results. Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. I want you to think about that. People love the product. Prevention is key. Treatment can take 4 to 6 months to see results, so act fast. All you have to do to take action to prevent hair loss is to go to keeps.com. That's KEEPS.com/safety. to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's keeps.com, KEEPS.com/safety to get your first month free. That's KEEPS.com/safety. Remember, not everybody has such a beautiful head as mine. So don't be saying coulda, shoulda, woulda. Act on Keeps right now.
Listen to our host
of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Okay, there you go. 17 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely, lovely, lovely Thursday. Yeah, it is Thursday, just in case you did forget. And I would normally say morning, but I don't want to throw some people off that are not in morning time, that are hanging out at a different time of the day, because that can become extremely confusing depending on where you're located. So I get it. Anyway, so let's continue talking about some of the stuff that is going on inside of the world of the news. The federal government's COVID response team still doesn't have an end game in mind for the pandemic. Anthony Fauci said cases and hospitalizations rates have not yet established as an acceptable situation for doing so. So, I guess worth noting to an extent, because we have to talk about it, I don't think he's ever said what an acceptable situation would look like. Meanwhile, in Denmark has announced that the country will lift COVID restrictions as of February 1st. So, of course, I had to bring it up because, hey, Denmark is referencing this. I will reference this. We will talk about it and go, okay. So if Denmark is lifting in starting February 1st, do you feel, yes, it is a feelings kind of question this morning, that this will be something that other countries will need to do right away? As you are seeing, state by state, things are going different. Texas and Florida, of course, being standouts in what they're doing. But do you see some of these other places starting to do the exact same thing, where they will change it up and go, okay, it's time to change it because that is what we need to do? Or do you think that it'll be something that will still take a period of time? Now, keep in mind, and I know some people don't like talking about this, but if you take a look around in this country, normally California is kind of ahead of the curve in a lot of things that do occur, good, bad, or indifferent, depending on how you want to take a look at it. But those things that happen in California normally happen years before they actually happen anywhere else. What do you think will happen with the situation that's going on in Denmark before it has an effect on the rest of the world? Your thought process is the one that's needed in that particular answer, because I can't answer you because I have no clue. Anyways, to continue talking, oil costs are more than $90 a barrel for the first time since 2014. Reuters reports that energy market prices rose on worries that Russia gas supply to Europe could interrupt. Russia is also one of the world's largest oil exporters. So do you think that this will be the perfect opportunity right now to take a pause for the cause, and some things will change there where people will really start pushing the electric car situation, really pushing towards the solar aspect of it? I'm just asking because it does seem to be one of those interesting things. In an interesting twist of events, I'll reference this. Mr. Joe Rogan last night at some point, so between last night and this morning, posted pictures of an live in-person view of the Cybertruck. It looks like he was hanging out somewhere where the Cybertruck pictures were able to be taken, and how it seems like it's a leap to the future is what he included on that particular post, and it made it look pretty interesting on how some of these things in the future will be. And of course, keep in mind that the Cybertruck is 100% electric. Keep that in mind as we do speak.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, phone lines are open at callinradio.com. So is the messaging, just in case you care to hang out and do anything inside of there. So let's continue talking real quick. Analysts believe that a wayward SpaceX rocket will impact the moon on or around March the 4th. The booster section was launched on February 2015, but went haywire during the engine burn. And since then, it has been chaotic orbit around Earth. Models suggested that it will hit the moon at about 2.58 kilometers a second in the next weeks or so. If it does impact it, it is believed that it'll be the first piece of man-made space junk to accidentally hit the lunar surface. So that'll be interesting to see. So, will this be something that we'll start talking about? You know, man-made crap, man-made junk that's out there, that it will actually start impacting the orbits, that will start impacting space. Like, will we start saying, okay, we need to go out there and do some level of cleanup? Well, we need to do some level of something or another to make sure that everything is good to go. I don't know. I'm asking the question here because I would love to have a great understanding of it. I would imagine this will become a thing because it seems like everything becomes a thing at some point.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, so did you hear about this? Heinz Ketchup has announced the price hike across the favorite offerings. Take a listen to this. Velveeta Fresh Packs will go up by 6.6%. Coffee will go up by 5%. Cold cuts and hot dogs will go up by 10%. And Kool-Aid and Capri Sun pouches will increase by 20%. So essentially everything that you probably feed a small child, with the exception of the coffee aspect of it, has just gone up in price. I hope you are planning your sexual activities accordingly, especially if you're accidentally or purposely have a child, because that is going to be some price hikes if you are feeding them any of that stuff or have intentions to, which seems to be some defaults of some. Hey, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying be on the lookout. Totally different story there. Anyways, 24 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging and banging here on this lovely Thursday and talking about what is going on inside of the world. Anyways, the Federal Reserve is expected to raise interest rates as its March meeting, and increased interest rates are typically used to combat inflation. So you'll be taking a look at that. Coming up relatively quick here is what it's starting to sound like. Anyways, as we are talking about money, well, you know how this goes. Who do we normally turn to? Well, there's one guy that we turn to, and that person is Johnny Smalls. So why would we do it any different than we do it any other time? So here's John Small with a Market Beat Minute.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Thursday, January 27th, 2022. Equities tried to rebound Wednesday ahead of the Fed meeting, but the move didn't get very far. The gains were capped by the FOMC statement and press conference in which the Fed Chief Jerome Powell indicated rate hikes would begin very soon. The market took the news to mean the first rate hike will come in March, and that might be larger than previously estimated. The CME's FedWatch tool shows a 100% chance of rate hikes in March, with a growing chance of 2 25 basis point hikes at once. Turning to the indices, the S&P 500 fell almost a full percentage point at the low of the session after climbing the same amount earlier in the day. The move confirms resistance at the key 200-day moving average and at a lower level than previous support. This is evidence of increasing bearish momentum and could lead the market down another 5% to 10% with ease. You can get the inside track in your inbox at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that one, letting us know what is going on inside of the market beat, because that stuff's always important to see what exactly is going on. So anyways, before before we get into some other stuff, I want to share this with you. This is according to what was going on inside of the world of the news. This one might be a little bit iffy, but we'll talk about it. Anyways, actor Michael Rappaport recorded a shoplifter at a New York Rite Aid walk past security guard and down the street with no interference. When he shared the footage on Twitter, many blasted him for being upset about a theft. One Twitter user wrote, Michael Rappaport thinks that he is noble for defending the corporation from one random person with a bag. Another asks, why are you acting like your own riot aid? Even more users defended the shoplifter, saying that he likely had no choice but to swipe items from the groceries that are so expensive. So if you want to hang out for a second, let's take a quiet listen here of what is going on. So hold on just one moment as I will play this, and let's get some sound over here. It's about 45 seconds.
Yo. Motherfucker don't give a fuck. Yo, I just watched this fucking dude. Look at this fucking guy. Walk in the fucking Rite Aid, this fucking guy right here, take a whole bunch of shit. Look at him.
So the dude essentially just walks in, grabs a whole bunch of stuff. There's a security guard right there. Walks right past the security guard, but he does have kind of some facial covering so you can only see his eyes, and walks out just like nothing, as he had done absolutely nothing whatsoever. And let's just be realistic. When it's all said and done, the security guard doesn't stop him. Security guard doesn't pretty much do anything. It's just kind of one of those things that he walks right by and says, ooh la la, life goes on, dear John. Is it the right thing? Is it the wrong thing? I don't know. This is what happens when you have high limits on theft. Seriously, if you're not going to pursue anything, this is what happens. And listen, I know that a whole bunch of justification can come through the pike here in regards, well, maybe he did this for this, and he did it for that, he did it for the other. That's a whole other conversation. All we're talking about is that the guy walks in, steals some stuff right in front of the security guard. Security guard can't do anything. The dude walks out, and some actor decides to record it. That's the subject of the conversation, if you think about it. But anyways, 28 minutes into the top of the hour, so you know that we're close enough to call it a thing. So maybe we'll do that as we are speaking right now.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show. Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so if you were hanging out this morning, you might have seen it, you might have noticed it, you might have seen how it was called, what the information was. Is your version of safety marketed wrong? Yes, you did hear that question correctly. And some people are going to sit back and go, your version of safety. Yeah, I did say your version of safety because that's what it really boils down to. Listen, I don't care if you are currently in a behavior-based safety system. I don't care if you're in a human performance system. I don't care if you're in a human and organizational performance. I don't care if you're in a Smith system. I don't care if you're in whatever system you are in, because that's not the important aspect. What the important thing is people making it home safe. That's really what it boils down to. It be it whatever format that works for you. Now, are some of the mental models in some of these formats shitty? Well, we can say that they are. It becomes a whole other conversation in that, but we'll talk about that here in just a brief moment. But in coming to this conclusion over the last few days, I've been able to interact with quite a few people over the last little bit. From the middle of the country, we'll say it that way. We'll say the middle south version of the country. And it's been, we'll say central, well, maybe we should say central United States. Maybe that's the better way to put it. But in going through and looking and listening and having the conversation, it's become astonishing to me. It's become one of those mesmerizing things that we talk about from time to time, where people are looking at safety as the change all, save all, and so on. And let me explain what I mean here. A lot of people get hung up on the versionality of safety that is being used inside of an organization. So let me ask you a weird question here. And of course, this is going to be a very weird question coming from me. So think about that caveat for a moment. Can you tell me the difference between safety 1 and safety 2? I'm waiting. I'll wait for a moment here. Can you tell me the difference? Matter of fact, can you tell me the difference between human performance and behavior-based safety? Matter of fact, let's try one more. Let's try one more. Can you tell me the difference between human performance and human and organizational performance? Nothing? Okay. I was just wondering. Now, some people will sit here and say, well, the difference is this, and this. Okay. Is those the differences? Are you sure those are the differences? Because here's where it gets pretty interesting. Have you seen anything outside of a versionality of a pseudoscience where these forms of safety do exist? And some people are not going to like that wording there, and I get it. But think about this. All these safety protocols come from some versionality of psychology. And now that's going to make some people ponder for a second. So we're not talking about safety science. We're talking about a versionality of psychology. Now think about this with me. I mean, let's go through it because I know I'm kind of rapid firing here. But it is a versionality of psychology. Now, the problem that we run into, or questions that you might be able to ask real quick, is how it's broken down. And listen, at some point when you're going through all of these quote-unquote systems, thought processes, because when you start going through it, you go, well, I didn't agree with this and I didn't agree with that, but where is it keeping people safe? The way to get there might not have been perfect. I mean, let's just think about that. You could do the blame and the shame and looking at people and going, well, this is not the best way to do this. This is not the best way to go about something. And probably was not the right way of doing it. But was it incorrect? Was it not keeping people safe? It wasn't like people were doing it with malice. It was trying to look for a cause. It was a causal factor in their eyes in regards to what needed to be done. So think about it from that format. But going into it, what is the differential between all of these things that we're talking about? It's the marketing. It really boils down to the marketing. They all have the same purpose. Everybody has a quick approach. Now listen, the outcome is not to kill people. The outcome is to keep people safe. Those are two things that we know for sure. But the marketing is what takes place that needs to improve it. Because listen, we're going to fire Joe from over there because he had this incident that occurred. Are we firing Joe because he's a bad worker? No, because we're firing Joe because we are under the assumption that he is going to injure people. So Joe needs to be fired. Is that the right thing? Probably not. But it is in the marketing. Do you see my point here? So at some point, someone needs to be able to describe how a lot of these thought processes come out of psychology, sociology, and so on. And that might be the conversation to have. That might be on how we need to move forward in having these combos, opposed to sitting back and going, my version of safety is best. Maybe it's just, well, let's just really call it shitty or piss poor marketing when it's all said and done. At the end of the day, with the organizations that I get to interact with, my whole goal is for people to make it home safer. Maybe even better than what they were when they first got there. The other portion is if we can have a conversation about bee stings over fatalities, because that's the biggest problem inside of the organization, I'll take the bee sting any day of the week. That's for sure. But then again, I would sit here and tell you what the hell do I know. But maybe I shouldn't say that today because I don't really feel like that one will apply too much. Seriously. 36 minutes past the top of the hour. Rated R Safety Show.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
These days, it can be hard to find and hire the right candidates for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs made it easier to find the people that you want to talk to faster and for free. I have to tell you, even before they ever became a sponsor here on Safety FM, we have used LinkedIn Jobs to help find the people that we have here on Safety FM. It's an easy service to use. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of only the most qualified candidates. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/safetyfm. That's linkedin.com/safetyfm to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Benji Haya. The United States has rejected Russia's demands to bar Ukraine from NATO. The military alliance sent Moscow written proposals in a bid to defuse the crisis along its borders with Ukraine, where 100,000 Russian troops have amassed, sparking fears of an invasion. India is hosting the first meeting of the India Central Asia Summit, and Australian scientists have discovered an unknown spinning object in the Milky Way, unlike anything seen before.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, there you go. 42 minutes past the top of the hour. Okay, You're Not Different. This is by Hallman. This song's readily available on Spotify and iTunes, just in case you did not know. Then you know it falls into that techno arena. So what does that mean? That means we're going to be stuck like Chuck here. I would like to thank Hallman for allowing us to play this one here on the Rated R Safety Show. You know how we love to move and to groove. Okay, there you go. Let's get us moving and grooving, because I have spent a whole minute listening to some musica right there between you and I. So let's see what we have else going on inside of this lovely world of news. So that way we can talk about what exactly is going on inside of inside of the world. Anyways, a reprenuptiate. Yeah, a reprenuptiate. Yeah, not a joke here. More than half of us believe that $1 million idea tucked away in the back of our brain. A survey delving into an increasing shift towards entrepreneurship found that 59% of adults have considered quitting their current job to launch their own business. Boy, that seems like a good idea. The one poll survey of 2,000 people found that 2/3 of respondents think that they would be successful entrepreneurs. Online content creation is the most popular type of business that people dream of launching at 51%. Selling products online came in at second at 49%, followed by providing services virtually at 49%, in-person 46%, and opening a brick-and-mortar store at 39%. When they were asked to keep them from taking the leap, a third pointed to the fear of failure, while 37% said the lack of financial means. 3 in 5 already are ahead of the game by having a side hustle or seriously thinking about launching one. Do us all a favor and don't launch a podcast. That's something that I would say. So what we are saying here is that everyone wants to make money, but no one wants to get their ass away from the computer. So I mean, I get it. And I say the thing about the podcasting, and I say that tongue in cheek, so let's just make sure that I'm clear here. A lot of people have started podcasts, and I will tell you, I have seen successful podcasts. I have seen podcasts that have failed. I have seen podcasts that probably raise some questions in regards of what you're doing with your life, but everybody has to take a look at it and do whatever they think that is best for their interest in the world of podcasting or anything else that they might be interested in, for sure. So I don't know. You need to do whatever you think is best for you. If you think starting a podcast, starting a business, starting something virtual, something digital, something that will get you a side hustle, you probably need to do so. Because, hey, doing the 9 to 5 or whatever time frame, most people work nowadays, is it going to be beneficial to you in the long run? I don't know. That's something that you will need to determine, not me.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, a leading French aquarium vendor has decided to stop selling round fish bowls because they have because they drive fish mad and kill them. Agro Brothers Laboratory will no longer sell aquariums with the capacity of less than 3.9 gallons and only rectangular ones. It is believed that putting a fish in a bowl without filtration, oxygenation, and is considered animal abuse. Goldfish can live up to 30 years and grow for about 25 centimeters in a large aquarium or outdoor pond, but tiny bowls then often die within weeks or months. The company also say that goldfish are social animals who need company of other fish, ample space, and clean water. My goldfish seems perfectly happy in the bowl. It's just when you take him out that he has a fit. So I've been just thinking about it in that particular fashion. One way to put it. What else do we have here? Many Hong Kong residents are hiring private jets for their pets. Why? Due to some of the world's strictest COVID measures. 40% of expats say that they are considering moving from the financial hub for good, and many have already left and are now trying to have their pets relocated. This has led to an online groups where desperate pet parents pull their money to cover the cost of renting a charter plane. And it's not just dogs and cats. On private aviation company reports that owners have chartered planes for hamsters, rabbits, birds, turtles. It's it wasn't long ago that those animals were more likely to be on an in-flight menu, but it's just one of those weird things where things have come about now and things have really changed. So I guess that's one way to take a look at it.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, so there you go, 47 minutes past the top of the hour, so we will continue talking real quick. Much like the Ontario municipality Chatham Kent did last year, the state of Minnesota is holding vote for the name of the newest fleet of snowplows. Some of the names being voted on this year are Control Salt Delete, Edward Blizzard Hands, and Scoop Dog. Not Snoop Dogg, but Scoop Dog. All these entries are very clever and catchy, and there are names like Sweet Child of Brine and William Scrap Spear, and even one of them has far shot of being selected in one of the 8 new names of the snowplows. But one that we're absolutely sure will win, especially this year, definitely Betty Whiteout, but still not clear if we have a winner yet. So just some things to think about. What else do we have? If you're and experienced harsh weather lately, be thankful that you aren't in Florida and an iguana. With temperatures in Miami dropping below 50 degrees on Monday morning, meteorologists were warning to watch out for falling iguanas, as CNN Allison Chinchard put it. Iguanas begin to get sluggish and lethargic once temperatures drop below 50. But once the temperature drops below 45, the iguanas go into a dormant and cold stunned state. The problem is iguanas often sleep in trees, so when the bodies go dormant, they tend to fall into the street. Car pulls, or even people. Keep in mind that we aren't talking about little lizards. Adults can reach about 5 feet in length and weigh about 20 pounds. So you don't want one of those things to land on the top of your head or of your car, of course. But don't be too alarmed if it's an immobilized iguana return to life as temperatures rise again, assuming that they don't get shattered or splattered on the sidewalk. Now think about that. If you had a dormant iguana land on you, what are the odds of you not doing something about it when it's all said and done? I mean, it's just something to think about, because it's mind-boggling thinking about, hey, there's some iguanas going all over the place. I'm not sure what the hell's going on.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, some scientists believe that the COVID lockdown may have helped decrease the amount of lightning produced in the atmosphere for the year of 2020. A recent study presented at the meeting of the American Geophysical Union analyzed the atmospheric factors that may have contributed to a reduction of 10 to 20%. Study focused on aerosol optical depth, which measures particles produced by burning fossil fuels. These particles can accelerate and enhance the collection of water vapor cloud information. The AGU noted the reduction in lightning was generally consistent with the reduction of aerosol particles. So does that mean that we need to have another lockdown to go a little bit longer, so we don't have as much lightning? I mean, I'm just asking for a friend. Don't get mad at me. I'm just wondering, for a friend. Let's just make sure that we're clear here. Anyways, let's talk about this. Let's get into some swampy territory real quick. Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer has announced that he has intentions to retire from the bench. He's held the spot since 1994. President Joe Biden has previously pledged the nomination of a black woman to the top job. Worth noting, don't discount Vice President Kamala Harris as a nominee. She has been vetted. She has pals in the Senate, and the Patty knows how to radioactive, how she's radioactive, and she herself would save the embarrassment of losing the nomination in 2024 or 2028. Did I say that out loud? Who said that she was? We don't even know if she's running. I mean, so I don't know. The plot thickens. As of Wednesday afternoon, Supreme Court reporter Shannon Bream tweeted that Breyer was not planning to announce his retirement today and was upset that the leaked information. So I guess that will be interesting. To get ahead of the potential Russian invasion of Ukraine, the State Department has delivered a series of written responses to the Ukraine diplomatic resolution and perceived aggressions. Secretary of State Anthony said that the plans were made in coordination with the Ukrainian government and European allies that will not be released publicly. Oh, okay. So hold on. So this news story was about a story about something that happened that we're not going to know publicly. Well, that seemed kind of pointless. Anyways, no winner for Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing. Friday's drawing will be for a $421 million jackpot or a $290.9 million cash payout. Going to mention this because we talked about this, so I'll talk about it because I think it's going to be interesting. Neil Young's music will be removed from Spotify at his request. The platform issued a statement Wednesday saying that he regrets Young's decision and hopes to welcome him back soon. It is not clear when the music will be removed. As previously reported, Young gave Spotify an ultimatum of his music or Joe Rogan anti-vaccine, anti-mandate podcast. Looks like they called his bluff, so there you go. Interesting to see. I kind of figured that, they had a big bet on the JRE there in regards to what was going to happen. Anyways, let's bring you some Motivation Minute stuff and some Wellness Reset coming your way right now here on Jay Allen. No, not Jay Allen Morning, wrong show. Rated R Safety Show.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote has been submitted by Ken. There's an anonymous quote that says, "Don't give up on yourself. There's a reason why you started." In 2020, when the pandemic first hit our area, I watched in awe as there were several different people who handled the pandemic in completely different ways. Now, I had never dealt with anything quite like that in my lifetime, so I didn't know how I was going to react. But I did make the decision that I would be as positive as possible. I watched some people spiral out of control and lose everything. And I watched others who would rise above and find a way to make things work. It was nothing short of amazing. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlasaMorgan.com. The Journal of Diabetes Care published an interesting study on how the timing of consuming proteins affects how our body processes carbs. They had the subjects consume orange juice and ciabatta bread, followed by grilled chicken. 2 weeks later, they had the group do the opposite. Eat grilled chicken first and orange juice and ciabatta after. What they found was that the group that had protein first had a 28.6% lower glucose response at 30 minutes after eating and a 36% lower glucose response at 60 minutes after eating compared to the group that had the carbohydrates first. Eating protein first makes a substantial difference on how the body utilizes carbs and reduces insulin spike, which means that you are less likely to store the newly consumed carbs as fat. For additional resources, check out alasamorgan.com.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so there you go, 55 minutes past the top of the hour, which means we are almost out of time at the top of the hour. I will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out exclusively over there, where we'll be doing music, and more music, and we'll do some talking inside of there as well. Anyways, before I forget, let me tell you about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local communities whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. To find out more information, go to afsp.org. That is afsp.org, or call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255, or text the word TALK to 741-741. So there you go. Anyways, let me tell you about some things that happened back on this date, back in 2013. Magnus Carlsen wins the Tata Steel chess tournament at 22 years of age. He would become the new world's chess champion later that year. So there you go. Let me tell you about some birthdays that are going on today. DJ Minnesota turns 33. Razan Park turns 43, Patton Oswalt turns 53, Tracy Lawrence 54, Alan Cummings 57, Chris Collinsworth turns 63, and John G. Roberts, Chief Justice, turns 67. So there you go. That's what's going on with birthdays for today. If you're looking for a reason to celebrate today, I got two of them for you. National Chocolate Cake Day. I guess there goes the carb thing. And Punch the Clock Day. I think people want to punch the clock in different ways all the time, and that's not a joke. Anyways, let me get you out real quick. If you need a random joke for today, try this one. Stop worrying about your smartphone or TV spying on you. Your vacuum cleaner has been gathering dirt on you for years. Think about that for a moment. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What terrible product sells by the millions? What terrible product sells by the millions? Question, if you need something for the water cooler, try this. Stats show that 4 times more likely to buy this on a Sunday than any other day of the week. What is it? It's breakfast. Yeah, you're more likely to go out for breakfast on a Sunday than what you would any other day of the week. I guess it makes sense. It really does. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show exclusively on Radio Big and safetyfm.com. If you want to come and hang out and do some things more, I will actually be hanging out on radiobig.fm, as I stated earlier. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener. Without you, we definitely can't do what we do around here. Anyways, very shortly, I'm going to tell you about something I've been thinking about in regards of live premium events. And I think that it's something that we're going to do, and I think you might be slightly surprised on what we have to offer to you. And I'm thinking that probably early next month, I'll have some info for you. So keep that in track as we are talking. Anyways, if I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Life is an ocean, and most everyone hanging on to some kind of dream to keep afloat. Think about that. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am.
Duh.
Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.